May the best brand win with Scott Robertson's Music Biz Marketing Strategies. Now, here's your host, Scott Robertson.
Hey, all right. Hello, everyone, and thanks very much for joining us. I'm Scott Robertson, and you are now tuned to May the Best Brand Win, powered by Intertalk Radio, the leader in music biz talk. And with me, as always, is Florentino Buenaventura. You know him as the host of The Changing Stage and a true rock star of Internet Talk Radio.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Doing good. Yeah, all right. Good to have Florentino around. And, Florentino's judging me and seeing if there's going to be an episode 2. So we'll see. This is episode 1, the brand Awakens, and then we'll see if there's going to be an episode 2.
I'll try not to be the Phantom Menace. So, all right, here you go. Sir.
All right. So today we're talking about social media, music, and mayhem. And we're going to have some fun talking about a very cool subject, a subject that's always changing, that's always different. You could do this segment next week, and there'd be new stuff and different stuff to talk about, which is always kind of makes it fun, and also makes it kind of maddening to talk about social media. So just a little bit about kind of who I am. So I'm Scott Robertson. I've been doing professional marketing communications for about 26 years now. I'm the CEO of Robertson.com, and that's a PR firm located in lovely Orange County, California, that does music and technology companies primarily. And here, the focus of this show, we're going to be talking about all the things in the music business, the music gear business, the musician side of the business, all the things that kind of come together on the marketing and branding side. It's a really fascinating, other side of the industry that I've been privileged to work in for a number of years. But today, again, we're talking about social media, music, and mayhem, and I really wanted to start out by kind of talking about what is social media really. It's really, really important. 9 times out of 10, when a client or a prospect comes to ask me to consult regarding social media, the conversation kind of goes like this. They say, "So Scott, we need to communicate X. Now how will we best do that?" And then they kind of expect me to kind of take X and find some way to get it to the audience, right? And that can work. That certainly can work. It's worked for many years. But in the social media side, you want to twist that prism just slightly, and you want to kind of see the light. So it starts with sort of a very important shift in perspective. And it goes like this. They, your intended audience, really don't care about your message. Their feed has nothing to do with you. They are really all about 100% about. If there was more than 100% on the scale, they would be that much about themselves. And the crowd gasps and they say, "Can this be? But my message is so good. Why wouldn't they want to be about me?" Because social media was designed to be our own little private feed where we control everything in the world. A lot of folks maybe don't understand because we're so accustomed to social media now. What you need to understand is that if we have 10 people lined up with 10 different screens and they open up their social media feeds, the feeds aren't even remotely similar. They're different. They're completely different friends. They're completely different things that they like. They're completely different things that they have liked, which feeds the algorithm that makes the feed completely custom. And that's a really powerful thing, and it's really, really important for you as a marketer. If you're going to market using social media and take that step, it's really important to understand that you really are sort of an intruder in a feed that doesn't want you. So let's talk about what people do want to share. The secret to becoming really good at social media really lies in human psychology. You're going to hear me talk a lot about human psychology. I don't think you can be really good at marketing if you don't just have a black belt in what's going on inside people's heads. And that fascinates me, to be honest. That's the part of marketing that is the most interesting and the most unpredictable. But people really, they want to share and like things and post things to the degree that allows them to, look cool to their friends. Their friends, their family, their acquaintances, all the people they've let into their twisted little world. They want to look smart to their friends. They maybe want to look charitable to their friends. Perhaps they would like to look kind to their friends. Perhaps they want to look happy to their friends. Perhaps they want to show that they're a good parent and an adoring spouse to their friends. Perhaps they want to be a smart shopper for their friends. Perhaps they just want to seem like they're in the know to their friends. Are you seeing the theme? The theme here is the fact that they want to be something to their friends. And everything that we all do is really to help kind of complete that mental picture that we have of ourselves. People that consider themselves to be funny like to post a lot of things, not coincidentally, that make them appear funny. Funny videos, funny posts, funny things that other people have said. People who really have a mental picture of themselves being kind and charitable, they tend to post more things that are kind and charitable and things that are uplifting and inspirational and that kind of thing. And you see this in different people's feeds. Actually, it sometimes helps marketers to look at other people's feeds besides their own, because and it is kind of personal. But I would just say, ask somebody to take a look at their feed. And it's really fascinating, by the way, because, again, it's very easy to start believing that the feed that we see every day from our people and the people that we've liked and that kind of thing is the same thing that everybody's seeing, and it's really not the case. So if you are going to try to infiltrate said feed, you're going to have to be really good. You are competing with some good stuff out there. Some of the stuff you're competing with this week, there's a great video of a bird that sort of made its perch on a cat's head. And it's fascinating. It's really, you cannot look away from the bird sitting on the cat's head. You really can't. Email me, by the way, if you have any questions or anything, and I'll send you the video of the bird on the cat's head. It's you just can't look away from it. My email, by the way, is scott@robertsoncom.com. 2 M's on com, the first com there, like communications. So. But you have to be great. This week alone, there's a lot of news in the NFL, or what passes for news when we don't have football season. And in this case, it is free agency and franchise tags of NFL players and that kind of thing. And there's a lot of news. And there are people checking their feeds at work, right now and throughout the day. And they're not interested in your marketing message. They're interested in knowing that Kirk Cousins just got franchise tagged by the Washington Redskins. That's what they're interested in. So if you are going to be, if you're going to try to infiltrate the feed, you're going to have to be as good and as interesting as a feed, something that they want, something that they actually want. My personal perspective on marketing is I think that marketers need to do a better job of really thinking about what they communicate and not, have all the focus on how they do it. Because the what is really, really important. The message is really important. The brand is really important. And then the content is really important. Your content needs to be truly very interesting. And we're going to talk about, in the course of the show today, we're going to talk about some people who have some truly interesting content from this perspective of sort of social media. Again, as I've said, as I say many times, the first 2 letters in the word media should be capital when you're talking about social media, because it is all about me. It's completely about me, and if you want in, then you better help me do something that I want to do in my feed, and that's the perspective of all the folks that are watching. And I see people make mistakes all the time in social media just because they don't start out with that fundamental belief, and they somehow start off with the fundamental belief that people want their message, and that is a poor way to start, I would just tell you. So very good to open your eyes and understand that's not the case. So let's talk about, I want to talk about sponsored posts for a second. Sponsored posts are something that Facebook and Twitter do to help you kind of amplify your content, really, help support their business model. What you need to understand is if they don't want your sales message and that kind of thing, then they really don't want your sales message that somebody just paid to put there. Right. So I would just say use those with a lot of caution. The fact that if you have something great that really needs to be amplified and you want to make sure it gets to, more of your followers, great. Sponsored posts can do that. But make sure you're not relying on that. You want to have your content to be so good that people are seeking it out. And then, you can bring in new people to the fold with their sponsored posts, but don't rely on it, The next thing I want to talk about the new like buttons that Facebook rolled out this week. They are fascinating. They basically replaced the like button with a bunch of different emoticons that mean love and wow and all kinds of different things. You've probably seen them on your feed already. My perspective on that is kind of like I think it's pretty cool, but I also think that it introduces a lot more choice, because things that I used to just, yeah, I like that. Boom. It's easy. It's one click kind of thing. Now I have to kind of think, do I love it? Do I really love it? Do I love it that much? There's a real process now that you have to kind of go through with these new like buttons. I think KitKat's done a really good job, by the way. They've gone through already and they've sort of modified the like buttons on some of their promos to the experiences that you would have that relate to having a KitKat bar. And I think that's kind of smart. It's fun. Other people are sharing it again because folks that say, "Hey, I'm interesting. I know what KitKat's doing," that kind of thing. So, the last thing I want to talk about here, just as we're getting into social media, music, and mayhem today, is I want to talk about reviews and really what it means to have a thick skin. If you're going to get into social media, you're going to have to develop sort of a thick skin. Everybody, you ever see the segment that Jimmy Kimmel does where celebrities read mean tweets? People write things on social media because it's fairly anonymous that are fairly mean and negative. I always have my clients make sure they go and check out Rotten Tomatoes for movies, and I say, look, you can take the Best Picture nominees that are going to be shown, on national TV, on Sunday, and every single one of those movies has a bunch of people who thought it was the worst movie in the history of modern cinema, and there's plenty of people who said it was great. There's plenty of people who said that it was terrible. That kind of thing. But it doesn't change the quality. The product quality never changed. You just got to have to believe in what you're out there doing. So we've had a fun first segment. Again, I'm Scott Robertson. You are tuned to May the Best Brand Win, powered by the Intertalk Radio, the leader in music biz talk. Join me for segment 2. We're going to talk about who's doing it right. Thank you.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Thank you for listening to WS Radio. Improve your business and your life with useful information from experts and thought leaders. WS Radio is radio with ROI.
The richness of your life is reflected in the shimmering elegance found at Diolune Design. One-of-a-kind jewelry and pieces from Cynthia Dillon in silver and gold help to express your unique personality. The flowing designs of her creations will empower the way you move throughout your day. Join us online at DIOLUNdesigns.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
In the military, things can change in an instant. The Navy Mutual Aid Association, we understand because it's our life too. That's why our dedication to serving the life insurance needs of our military veterans and their families is unrivaled. Navy Mutual offers superior life insurance protection without military service restrictions and limitations. A single focus on providing the peace of mind military families are looking for. That's what we do. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve. Call 800-628-6011 or go to NavyMutual.org.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, CEO and founder of VinVillage.com and the Wine and Dine Show on Vin Village Radio. Do you have a wine, event, product, or service to promote? Then contact VinVillage.com to reach thousands of wine lovers across the country. VinVillage connects like-minded wine enthusiasts with unique and exclusive wines, events, products, and services. To learn more, contact us on VinVillage.com. VinVillage is where wine lovers connect. Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.
May the best brand win with Scott Robertson's Music Biz Marketing Strategies. Now, here's your host, Scott Robertson.
All right. We are back, and we are here at May the Best Brand Win, the first episode. We are very hopeful there's going to be a second one. Very good. We do it for the fan. You know, we do it for my mom who's listening in Naples, Florida. Hi, Mom. How you doing? It's segment number 2, and we're here talking about social media, music, and mayhem. We're talking about who's doing it right in this segment. And, of course, in segment 3, we're going to talk about who is making some mistakes. And segment 4, we're going to talk about how to do it right and a couple of tips from me to you, that kind of thing. So, but let's talk about who's doing it right. So there's a lot of folks in the music industry that do social media really, really right. And I want to say, kudos to those folks. The first one I want to talk about is Guitar World Magazine, owned by New Bay Media. I find just that they do a fantastic job of just putting out good content. For example, just today they put out a really cool video of Steve Vai playing For the Love of God for the first time since 1991. Sorry, Steve Vai, but he's playing it for the first time in 1991. So pretty really cool stuff that they find really cool stuff out there on YouTube or from other people's feeds, and then they share it, because their whole idea is we want to show interesting folks that are present in our magazine that are doing interesting things with the guitar. And sometimes they'll show you, how-tos, how to do two-handed tapping like, Reb Beach, Randy Rhoads, and Eddie Van Halen. They'll show you some examples of that kind of stuff, just like they do. But I think they do a fantastic job because they could fill this feed with a bunch of, here's the decision process. They could fill this with this is all stuff from our magazine. This is all of our, our interviews. This is, a new special that we have, for new subscribers. I mean, they could let marketing just take over this feed, but they do not. And this is why it's smart. They are able to create things that people want to share. And again, let's go back to what people want to share. People want to only share things when they want to themselves look cool to their friends, look smart to their friends, look like they're in the know. People who, are on the cusp of sharing cool things with their friends. It really just comes down to that mental image they have of themselves. And Guitar World really gets this because they're able to put things out there. I share things all the time. I found, there's another Steve Vai clip, where he's playing, he's playing Purple Rain, and that's cool. You want to see what his take is going to be, on that song. And, that's the kind of stuff that you want to, and sometimes they do funny stuff too. Like they posted a cool little clip the other day. It said, if you're a guitar player, your clothes dryer probably looks like this, and it has a bunch of picks on top. And everybody that's a guitar player says, yeah, man, I know. My clothes dryer totally looks like that. So does my dresser. So does pretty much any horizontal surface in my home is going to be filled with the guitar picks. And then you share it with people, and if you want to tag your friends and that kind of stuff, and they love that because they're getting all the, all the credit in the world for the fact that you're tagging their content. That's a way to do social media right. They're not asking for anything. They're trying to be kind of a relevant part of your feed. And by doing that, they have a much better shot of keeping you as an audience member, keeping you as a subscriber, getting done the business goals that they want to get done. Another, company that really I think does it well is San Diego's own Taylor Guitars. They do a fantastic job of showing people, regular people, with their guitars, and a good job of highlighting the artists as well, and just talking about the news that's coming out. They just have very, very interesting stuff going on. And again, it's not. You don't feel like it's a marketing-driven sales feed that's trying to sell you something. You feel like it's a feed that is trying to show you interesting stuff that you might in turn feel comfortable sharing with your followers. That is the essence of social media. And while it sounds extremely easy to say, oh, Scott, that's really easy. Would you like for me to show you and go down my feed and show you about 1 million examples of people who don't share that perspective? because, man, it's easy. It's far too easy to show you people that are doing it wrong. Segment 3 will write itself down the feed today. I could do only posts from this morning and still fill segment 3. And that's not cool. People need to be thinking about this stuff before they're doing it. Again, you're invading somebody else's space, so the least you can do is be really, really good when you do it. Another good feed that I really like, I like the MIDI Manufacturers Association, now the MIDI Association, by the way. They just launched the NAMM show as the MIDI Association. I like their feed a lot. I think that they show very cool uses of MIDI technology. MIDI Association was one of my clients, still is one of my clients on the PR side. They do a lot of the social posting themselves, and they do a fantastic job, and really, because they know who they are. They're the association, around MIDI, and all they really have to do is just show interesting ways that people use MIDI. I encourage you to go to Facebook and check out that feed. They always have something neat and cool, and somebody's always dreaming up something new to do with MIDI that just will blow your mind. I love it, And MIDI's just fascinating because it's it's a standard that's 33 or 34 years old. It's really unchanged and still in use. And there's just no other technology standard that is still in use. It's really unchanged for 34 years. There's no bit of technology. I mean, you get a new phone like every year, so that's what I would. So I really like the MIDI Association stuff. A couple of my clients that I think do it really well. Beat Buddy, which is a pedal-based drum machine. We have a lot of fun with that client. They do a good job of really reaching out to their community. Almost their forums and stuff are almost like a social network. People ask questions. They're really active. They're involved. And again, it's not about selling them, more stuff. It's about helping them. And I think if you start with that perspective of helping people, then you're going to be more authentic to your audience, I think. And there's really no way to fake that. You just have to kind of live it. Another one of my clients is BandLab. I think they do a great job as well. They have a lot of new features that come out. BandLab, by the way, is a cloud-based digital audio workstation, really, that works on iOS and Android and web in the Chrome browser. That really allows you to record your simple ideas, on your phone, and then be able to collaborate with other musicians, anywhere in the world. It's free, so it appeals to musicians' desire for things to be free, and that's pretty awesome. So I encourage you to check that out. And also my client Jam Hub, which is basically a silent rehearsal studio for bands that want to dial in their their sound perfectly and hear better and perform better and all those kind of things. Been around for 5-6 years now. Jam Hub is a really interesting company. On their social feed, one of the things I really like about them is that they show people send them photos and say, here's how we use the Jam Hub as an inner monitor system in our setup. And they'll say, hey, shout out to this band, whatever. And remember, people like the fact that when big companies mention them by their feed, it sort of gives them, publicity for the band too. So everybody sort of wins. Jam Hub gets entrance to the band's feed, and the band gets mentioned by a company that they like and admire. So it's sort of a win-win. It's really kind of cool. There's just so many cool things outside of the music industry. There's a lot of companies I like that do social media really well. There's an upcoming movie, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, by Warner Brothers. I think some of their social media stuff is some of the coolest stuff I've seen. They take their stars out, and they are really just pose the question, who would win in a fight between Batman and Superman? And the answers are hysterically funny, especially when they ask little kids the question. You owe it to yourself to watch Henry Cavill, who plays Superman in the movie, go out and ask basically 8-year-olds, who would win between him, Superman, and Batman. And then Jesse Eisenberg, who plays Lex Luthor in the movie, does a fantastic job of going around a comic book store and talking about would Batman win, would Superman win, or really would it be Lex Luthor? And Eisenberg is fantastic in this, and it's it's all really leading up to a big promotion that they're doing to get people to join them for the premiere. But what's cool about it is they could do a lot of they could fall back. They have tremendous content. They have a fantastic feature film that's coming out, and they could fall back and say, here's a new trailer for you. Here's a new trailer and this kind of things. But they don't. They go out and they take their stars in real environments and they create some content that you would like and you would share, and then you would say, oh, cool, man, this is, first of all, Superman has a British accent. That's kind of freaky. If you haven't heard it before, it will freak you out a little bit. So you're like, nice. And then you decide, hey, yeah, let's go ahead and share that, And the Jesse Eisenberg one is just fantastic. He does a great job of promoting the fact that he's Lex Luthor, and he really thinks that Lex is better than either Batman or Superman, and he's just kind of a fast talking, smart aleck kind of guy. So it's pretty cool. I really like that one a lot, and I think that there are a lot of good things going on in social media, and really it comes from when companies begin to understand that, hey, this isn't all about us. This isn't all about us and how wonderful we think we are, and all of us sitting around in the conference room and going, how can we get people to like us, and that sort of thing. Think about dating the opposite sex. If you sit around and go, hey, how can we get more women and that kind of thing, that's probably not going to work out. But if you go out and just be interesting and helpful and just sort of live your life and do what you do, then that sort of thing just kind of takes care of itself. And I think social media, there's a lot of, great parallels in that in terms of social media. Sometimes we try to overmarket to people. Sometimes, we're afraid we're not selling enough. And so then the pressure kicks in and we feel like we have to overmarket. But, I just caution you. It's like the goose that laid the golden eggs, Let's get one egg out at a time instead of splitting the goose's belly open and trying to get them all. That really didn't work out for the farmer in the fable. And it's probably not going to work out for any company that tries that strategy either. I'm really excited to talk about segment 3, where we talked about all the people that are doing it right. Segment 3, we're going to talk about some big old faux pas that are out there. So you are tuned in to May the Best Brand Win, powered by the Intertalk Radio, the leader in music biz talk.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
One person has the power to change the world, impact millions of lives, and leave a legacy for lifetimes to come. That person is you. In the New York Times bestseller, What is Your What? Steve Olsher, award-winning author and founder of the Reinvention Workshop, reveals his proven process that has helped thousands of men and women discover, share, and monetize the one thing they were born to do. Grab your free copy now at www.whatisyourwhat.com/free. That's www.whatisyourwhat.com/free.
Take a break from politics. Tune in and learn something. WS Radio shows are worth your time and are filled with tips and advice. Add us to your lunch routine, and we'll give you a meal for your mind.
This is Bill Gruber with BizVid Communications, a Southern California video production leader. We've been honored to sponsor, produce, write, and host many of the fine programs on WS Radio over the years. So so we understand how important the internet and your website exposure are. As video producers, we know the tricks and secrets to incorporate video to increase your search engine optimization and business success. Visit bizvidcommunications.com to see what we can do for you. BIZVID communications.com.
May the best brand win with Scott Robertson's Music Biz Marketing Strategies. Now, here's your host, Scott Robertson.
Hey, all right. You are back tuned to May the Best Brand Win, powered by the Intertalk Radio Network. And we are here in segment 3. And so far we've talked about kind of what is social media. We talked about how it's all about them. It's not really about you. We've talked about who's doing it right. We've, and now we're here in segment 3. I really want to talk about some of the things that really aren't going so well out there for some folks. The first one I want to talk about is Bill Cosby. Now, Bill Cosby, of course, was a very famous comedian, still is a very famous comedian for different reasons. He was, America's dad, on the Cosby Show, fantastic stand-up comedian for many years, very, outspoken, on a number of issues. And then about 2 or 3 years ago, and I believe it was in February, I remember I was speaking at Cal State Fullerton to a group of college students when the story broke. But he basically asked the internet to meme him, to create a funny or otherwise, exciting meme of him and some aspect of his career. And as you might imagine, that did not work out for him. That kind of went south. Basically, a lot of things were dredged up from his past, including a lot of old allegations that he had settled, about some sexual misconduct. That started to sort of come out from this self-invoked, self-inflicted wound of asking the internet to meme him, and of course the story has gone from really bad to a whole lot worse, for him, with all sorts of new allegations coming up, and just really what we've witnessed in the last few years is the complete and total destruction of his reputation and legacy. And I want to point out that he asked for it, that he asked the internet to do this, and that's what started it. And that's a good way to kind of kick off segment 3 when we talk about social media, is that it's not all positive. You are not in control of the message. As I mentioned, they are. And so you must be at least be aware of that, and have a good sense of awareness about what you're going to do out there. Again, for Bill Cosby, it really didn't work out, and this simple social media tactic to try to get him more visibility, maybe even came from his social media team and not from himself, really backfired in a big way. But not just him, of course. Another one that really comes to mind is Bud Light. About a year ago, when they had their Up for Whatever campaign around the time of the Super Bowl, they had some tweets that kind of came out and said, that sort of insinuated the fact that maybe if she's not that into you, it might be okay to drug her, and because she's up for whatever. Bad judgment is, I would say, from a very large brand. Even if you're trying to be funny, or you're trying to be, tongue-in-cheek, or trying to be light, or trying to do all those kind of things, those things are going to be misinterpreted every single time and twice on Sunday. So it did not work out very well for Bud Light and their Up for Whatever campaign, and they really suffered for it for a good long time. It still comes up in social media circles as sort of a cautionary tale. Another one that I find kind of interesting is Starbucks. Starbucks has a few, actually. One recent one they had was the fact that they changed their loyalty program, and they changed the number of points or something that you said that you could, would have to basically really upset a lot of people that were deep into the loyalty program with Starbucks. And of course, that is exactly the opposite of what should be happening with a loyalty. You create a loyalty program so that your customers will like you more, will, frequent your locations more, will be more, intrinsic to the brand. You certainly don't want to go out with something and publicize it and then just be destroyed on social networks everywhere because you didn't test it, didn't think it through, and you, weren't prepared for the response. And it's not the first time for Starbucks, of course. Seems like every few months there's a misstep or two. This one, they basically decided, their CEO decided, hey, we're going to engage our customers in a discussion about race at Starbucks. So it's a darn shame they didn't have a PR person in the room, because that is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. I can't imagine any type of upside to that in a place where people are just trying to get their coffee and get out the door, and it's super crowded, and you're going to have, it's not the place to have a serious conversation with anybody, and certainly not a conversation on a controversial topic like that. And of course, when they launched this campaign, the day after, they got blasted all over social media, tweets for days. And then the director of corporate communications decided to delete his Twitter account. So just for you kids at home, that is a really bad idea. The internet, people are taking screenshots of your account. Deleting your account does nothing but really kind of show your guilt in something. That is and for somebody that is in communications to think that the solution is to delete your account, no. You absolutely do not ever delete your account. You stand and deliver on what it is that you said, and you have an opportunity to still get in the conversation. So a lot of bad things about the Race Together campaign. The worst, of course, being the fact that the account was deleted, and as I'm sure it will not be a surprise to anyone, there were plenty of people who took screenshots of the former account's tweets and then amplified those substantially, which did a lot of damage to the brand. So, a lot of folks, doing the wrong thing out there. One in the music industry recently, Kanye West, and I mean, come on, but let's talk about Kanye West for a second. So he went on a rant. Somebody didn't like his new album, right? And we talked about reviews and kind of being thick-skinned in the first or the second segment here. But a reviewer basically didn't like Kanye's album, and so he took to Twitter, as he often does. And Kanye thinks incredibly highly of Kanye, just so you know. And he, basically just blasted this critic, and this critic is terrible, and I feel sorry for his kids, and I'm going to have to send shoes to his kids and everything else. So, Public Relations 101 goes like this. No, you don't do that. You don't ever do that. You always make sure that if somebody is critical of you, it's America. They have the right to be critical of you. They don't like the album. Would you like me to show you the Rotten Tomatoes website again? I'm happy to show it to you. It's, you need to understand it's not about you. It's about them. And he didn't like your album. Merry Christmas. It's America. But when Kanye West goes on a rant like that, and of course, I do realize what we're talking about, but just as an example for any of you bands out there are critics that aren't going to like your stuff. You know what? Great. Fantastic. They're going to make great liner notes for when you become rich and famous, and you'll say, I had all these critics that didn't like my stuff. Like all the artists that say this. I have a lot of friends that are in big bands, and they laugh it off. And they say, yeah, there are a lot of people that thought we weren't going to make it. And you know what? We made it. So, sorry. It doesn't matter. It really, really doesn't matter if somebody gives you a poor review. You have an opportunity from a marketing side of things. Somebody doesn't like the product. They're giving you real feedback about the product. You have a real opportunity to make things better. And that's what you're supposed to be in business to do in the first place. So I am a huge fan of engaging with people, even if people are, sometimes people say, oh, I get this question on panels a lot. They say, what if they're internet trolls and they're just out to be negative? Well, then they'll reveal themselves. Stupidity reveals itself on the internet just like anything else. But you don't have to go down to their level. You absolutely do not. You absolutely can have a conversation. There are plenty of people who disagree with my point of view on things, and it's America, and they're allowed to do it, and that's fine. And we can still be good friends and not always see completely eye to eye. It requires a great deal of security in your brand, in yourself, and things like that to be able to say, it's cool to disagree with me. I'm cool with that. Obviously, Kanye is ridiculously insecure to be able to not even take a critic's review, seriously, and to go after the person personally for it is completely not the right thing to do. So the last thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about Volkswagen. Now, obviously, Volkswagen, they seem to lead the league in bad PR quotes. I am going to talk about PR for a second, even though we're talking about social media, because it's really amplified. Public relations stuff is really amplified by social media these days in a big way. So the Volkswagen CEO came out recently, and their headlines everywhere said, "We are not a criminal brand." All right, so just a quick marketing tip and PR tip for anybody out there. You never want to state anything about your company in the negative. Richard Nixon, I am not a crook. We are not a criminal brand. I am not this. Don't ever let somebody position you in a situation where you have to tell them what you are not. You want to tell them what you are, and you want to always bridge things back to where you can easily tell things what you are. Obviously, Volkswagen's made a lot of mistakes. They've been in the center of a huge firestorm with a lot of criminal activity. And then what they're trying to say is that not everybody here is a criminal, but the bottom line is there are plenty of criminals there that are being investigated currently for their part in that conspiracy. So anyway, we've talked about social media is not all sunshine and roses. You lose control over it a little bit, and you really have to know how to wield this stuff very, very well. And you have to have a thick skin, and you have to be, able to kind of weather the storm out there, and so to really engage with social media right. So I'm Scott Robertson. You're tuned in to May the Best Brand Win, which is powered by the Intertalk Radio Network. See you soon.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
Attention business owners. Does it feel like your business owns you? See if you qualify for a free 90-minute business coaching session to help you build a business, not a job. During this free 90-minute strategic consultation, one of our senior coaches will help you map out the best way to grow your company and get your life back. To learn more, go to MauiMasterminds.com/scale now. That's MauiMasterminds.com/scale now.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children. After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. MOZEguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way. A which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at whichwich.com and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICH, WICH. Whichwich.com. May the best brand win with Scott Robertson's Music Biz Marketing Strategies. Now, here's your host, Scott Robertson.
All right, hey. I'm Scott Robertson, and you are tuned to May the Best Brand Win, powered by InterTalk Radio, the leader in music biz talk. And it's been a fun first show here. We've been talking about social media, music, and mayhem. The first segment, we talked a little bit about what social media is, talking about how it's all about them. And the second segment, we talked about who's doing it right. And the third segment, we talked about who's doing it wrong and some of the big faux pas that we see that are going on out there. In this segment, I really want to talk about how you can do it right for yourself, your band, your brand, your anything out there, how you can use social media. And I guess, not coincidentally, the first piece of advice is going to be what I said at the top, which is going to be about them. Don't be about you. You are interesting to you, but they are interesting to themselves. They post things and share things to the degree in which they can look cool to their friends, they can look smart to their friends, they can look kind to their friends, they can look like they're in the know to their friends, they can look like people who make good choices to their friends, they can look charitable, those kind of things. Really make your communications efforts all about them, and you'll be successful. It's a good way to do it. You want to help them complete the picture that they have about themselves, and the degree in which you do that, you're going to be successful. I would say, be interesting, be funny, be clever, understand that you are up against very, very tough competition, be awesome, in terms of your, the risks that you take and do that, be different, take risks for the right reasons. There are, the things that we like are sometimes the things that are unexpected from different brands. I am a fan of brands that take risks for the right reasons. I just think that sometimes it's very easy to play it safe. It's very, very easy to look at marketing and say, this is going to be the safe way to go. And certainly we don't want to go so far on the other side that, if you're having a conversation and you're Bill Cosby and your team comes up and says, we should do a thing where everybody could just meme you. You got to understand that, any ask of the internet to, engage around you, has at least a very high likelihood of going negative on you. When it comes to the Starbucks thing, and they're talking about their Race Together campaign, somebody should have interrupted that long before it got a chance to get, tweeted out and became this, huge black eye for the company. That's sometimes the role of public relations in the organization, is when people, I've sat in those meetings before and people raise their hand and say, hey, I think it'd be a really good, idea to do X and that kind of thing. And sometimes X is a really good idea, and sometimes, it's going to be a really bad idea. And, you really want some people in the room that are going to be able to know the difference and tell you the difference. It's critically important. Again, the best advice that I can give to somebody is to really think about, is to really be respectful of the audience. Again, you are. It's like they're having a party, at their house, and all of their friends are there, and everybody's having a good time, and everybody's, rocking, everything's going good, and then you're going to come up and knock on the door. And they don't necessarily, and maybe they kind of know you, they kind of know you. They've kind of, they've waved to you before, that you have a limited relationship with them. if you're going to come into a room full of their friends, and immediately start saying, hey, we've got, this product on sale, or we've got this, or we just launched this news from our company, and that kind of thing, you're going to get some weird stares in the room, right? Now, imagine the room, has several thousand people, or in some cases, tens of thousands of people. You want to be really, really careful as to what you do in the room, and make sure that you are being. And when I say careful, I mean respectful. I mean respectful of the fact that you are trying to kind of earn a place at the table. And one of the best ways to be respectful is to know what that person's about, what they want, and try to create something that's just for them. Something that invokes their name, kind of like Taylor Guitars does. When they say, "Hey, here's one of our folks out there in the community with a brand new Taylor guitar. Congratulations! I'm sure you sound great on it." Those kind of things, all the things that person really wants to be true as well. Do stuff like that. Again, I think that far too much communications in our world, far too many marketers and far too many people in marketing communications just sort of, they don't apply what I like to call Jurassic Park logic, which is, just because you can create dinosaurs does not mean that you should, right? It doesn't end well. Just because, hey, we have the ability to pull out dinosaur DNA and we have the ability to create these eggs. Yeah, you do. You can, but, don't. And I think, I think again, it's so important. Just a little bit of common sense goes so far, when you're doing marketing communications and social media in particular. And I guess the thing I want to leave you with, before I sign off here, is one of the most important aspects, one of the most important attributes in marketing is courage. It takes courage to stand out and be different. It takes courage to put a brand out, to put a song out, to do all these things, and to be different than everybody else. We are taught from a very young age that it's important to blend in, and so marketing and being different and differentiation is going to feel uncomfortable. Do it anyway. Say something and be something real in a world that is far too fake. I'm Scott Robertson, and you're tuned into May the Best Brand Win, which is powered by the Intertalk Radio Network, the leader in music biz talk. I hope to see you back for episode 2, The Phantom Menace. We'll talk to you a bit later. Thanks.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Progressive Medical. Hey, this is Heidi Rue, and Progressive Medical Center has literally changed my life and my health, but I'm not the only one. Adele suffered from bone deterioration, bone overgrowth, profound muscle discomfort, physical exhaustion, and mental fog. In fact, the bone deterioration becomes so serious that she had to have back surgery. Well, after the surgery, she still didn't feel well, and so that's when she heard about Progressive Medical Center. Progressive Medical Center discovered that her adrenals weren't working properly, her hormones were out of whack, and the drugs she had been taking were doing more harm than good. Adele came into Progressive Medical Center in a walker, physically and mentally exhausted. But now she's a world traveler. She hikes and walks several miles a day, and it's all thanks to Progressive Medical Center. 770-676-6000. 770-676-6000.
Progressive Medical. This is your life. Live it well.
Take a break from politics. Tune in and learn something. WS Radio shows are worth your time and are filled with tips and advice. Add us to your lunch routine, and we'll give you a meal for your mind.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.
If you heard that sound, you probably are eligible for insurance from Navy Mutual, insuring the men and women of the Navy, Marines, and Coast Guard. Here's what retired Marine Roger Napper was quoted to say.
I consider Navy Mutual's Permanent Plus insurance to be the absolute best available on the market. I like the growth of my cash value and the death benefit. I also like the fact that it can be converted to long-term care insurance if needed.
Navy Mutual Aid Association, started by military members in 1879, serves active, reserve, and retired military today. Navy Mutual honors our military by providing them affordable life insurance with the features they need without fine print, sales fees, or military service restrictions. Value, integrity, trust, and stability are the cornerstones on which our commitment to you and your loved ones are built. Call Navy Mutual at 1-800-628-6011 or NavyMutual.org for your personal life insurance plan consultation. 1-800-628-6011 or NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
Can you imagine a world without children? A world without their smiles or their laughter? A world where children don't play or sing or dream or imagine?
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we can't imagine a world without children. That's why we're working every day to find cures for diseases that strike down children everywhere. Diseases like cancer, pediatric AIDS, and sickle cell. And we won't stop until every child is cured and every disease is defeated. Because we can't imagine a world without children. Can you?
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. To learn how you can help, log on to our website, stjude.org.
Hi, I'm Nicole Heffel, an attorney with the Heffel Law Firm, and I'd like to encourage you to join me in honoring our troops. Part of the Heffel Law Firm's mission is to advocate for those returning veterans in need at no cost to them. You can help us with this by allowing us to serve you with your estate planning needs. I'd like to invite you to contact me at heffellaw.com. That's HEFFEL law.com, or call 619-550-3080.